It was the same laughter I'd heard when I tried out for the football team, same laughter I'd heard when I tried out for the basketball team, moved yet to another school as a scrawny, socially awkward kid, same laughter. But when I saw that guy walk in, I figured out on that day right there, it doesn't matter how big you are, all that matters is how big you dream.
With me now, retired Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann.
Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, up early with us.
Go to our retired Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, U.S. Army Special Forces.
Now retired Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, a former Green Beret.
When I was 14 years old, I was hanging out with my buddies in Harold's Soda Shop when this guy walked in. And on his head, he had this funny-looking, soft green hat, and my life changed forever. I always wanted to be a Green Beret.
Scott brings a perspective that is tested in the most difficult places in the world.
Well, look, there's no doubt that we need to have leadership in the Middle East. The U.S. has a role to play there, and we're going to have a role to play there for a long time.
This guy is the most solid guy I've ever met. He tops them all because of his bravery, because of his family, what he stands for.
The most powerful tool that we have in our kit bag that we had in those dusty, rough villages is the same tool that you have, and it's your story. The way that we convey honor, the way that we convey shame, the way that we convey emotion and perception and feud is through story.
His lessons he's learned and what he's teaching you, he learned in life and death situations.
Is there truly this growing threat there?
Oh, sure, yeah, the threat's there, and I'm glad to see that some authorities are expanded to finally let our guys and girls get after them the way that they need to. I have talked my way out of a hell of a lot more gunfights than I've shot my way out of.
Scott is a master storyteller, and you can just get captivated in hearing some of the things that he's been through in his life.
And I've seen this time and time and time again in Afghanistan and other tribal areas. Relationships and restoration of relationships is absolutely critical. You're going to be tested and you're going to be measured, but the reality is, whether you like it or not, your ass is in that arena. We have a loss of bridging trust of epic proportions in this country, and no one's even paying attention to it.
Scott really opens your eyes to the fact that, you know, your life experiences a lot of times do translate to other people and will create that bond.
And story has the emotional component to it that moves people to action, that couples their brains and causes them to act.
So I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't benefit from, sitting and leaning in with Scott.
And so what I've come to figure out is that I ran all those miles and built up those scars so that I'd be worthy to stand in front of you, to share with you what I've seen, what I've learned.
As I started to look around shortly after my retirement and I started to really open my eyes to the new world that I was living in, I didn't like what I saw at all.
And they are some of the best in the world at coming in on a target, taking that target down, and then coming off the target. But the one thing that my old man and that little log in town taught me was that when you get knocked down, you get back up and you go back in the fight.
Because he takes his personal mileage that he's already run, and it's painful, and he uses it for good.
This attack in Brussels, Belgium was actually forecasted by ISIS after the attacks of Paris. They said this is the first of many to come, and it will be.
It's going to have to be a focused bottom-up strategy over time. I mean, that's what my whole book's about. Game Changers is doing that from the bottom up. And until we do that in these rural areas, they're going to own Safe Haven.
Colonel Mann, thank you.
Thanks.